They're like, man, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Ask Mathis. I'm your host, Reginald Mathis, and rocking with me is my brother, Wildman Teddy T, aka Baron Theo Mound-builder.
We is in the building. What's going on? What's going on?
Oh man, doing what we do, bro.
You just coming straight off the flight once again.
Man, get the people what they asking for, get the people what they need. So that's what we own, man. We supplying, we supplying that knowledge, man. So you know, um, in light of that, man, let's get right into it, man. So Steph is back.
Mm-hmm.
Steph was up in Jonesboro, outside of the ATL, for the third annual Rick Ross Car and Bike Show, bruh. So tell us about the promised land. Tell us about the pretty bunnies and the.
It was a wonderful event. I felt blessed to be a part of the experience.
Yeah, you was feeling yourself, man. You coming out talking about, yeah, man, I don't really, what I'm saying? I don't really, be talking, popping it, man. But I must say that I am him. I am he.
Timothy.
He and I are one and the same.
Secretly, that's what his training was about. I realized, at that point, that's what the training was all about. He knew he was going live at the promised land.
Got to see Boosie perform. Got to see.
Tell us about the ladies.
Oh, they was there. They was there.
Did they have a pool party? Like, why wouldn't you always have a pool party? How was the weather?
We had somebody called the Twerk Guard, and he had some shenanigans going on. Buns everywhere. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, well, so on this broadcast Sunday, 11 a.m. on Video Mix, hopefully, you can intersperse some of your footage, man. Not any of the exclusive SCK footage, but some from the personal archives of one Stefan, Captain Steph. I want to see some out of the personal stash, man. So there's a situation right now, man, here on the Ask Mathis show. This congressman, Democratic congressman, Gabe from New Mexico, Gabe Vasquez, it's like you can't get away from your past. So he had a job back in 2004 while he was a college student. 2004. Like, are we punishing this guy because he used the N-word back in 2004? He's a New Mexico congressman. But that 2004 call that surfaced, man, he was mad because he was disgruntled. He got fired, so he was calling, harassing people. And he was asking to speak to Chris. It's like, who is Chris? Chris the N-word.
Oh.
Yeah. And he's a Democratic congressman. So what do the Democrats do? Especially, and he's Hispanic. Like, how do they handle that, Teddy? How y'all handle that?
Teddy the representative.
Well,
I mean, I know it ain't you, and you know it ain't me.
We definitely have to just look at the fact that pressure and how these guys look to get off this pressure. A lot of times, Chris might have been that guy who, always bothered him, always was a thorn in his side. He happened to be a black guy. So, of course, growing up in American colonization, he chose that terminology. Mental health is definitely a serious issue.
That's what we do. The go-to card. The go-to card.
Mental health is
mental health. Mental health. We're working on those things. We're confronting.
You know what I'm saying?
Confronting those demons.
There's different ones every day.
Confronting them. We're confronting them, man. So
I don't really give you a pass. Like it all depends on the context. Now, if you attach to the culture and you said out of, you know, saying it with your
That's what I was
homeboy.
thinking at first, but you know, he calling his old job, but he was in college at
Right.
the
He's
time.
in
He
college.
was in college at the time.
Yeah.
We 20 years
He's
ago,
not
bruh.
even into what he's doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2004.
He was going.
2004. It's like,
Just might have hit his girl. You know what I mean? Might have got a higher
bro,
grade.
my daughter's just telling me last week, you know, she just finished 8th grade, and she's telling me about a girl that she stopped hanging out with. She's like, why she hang out with her? She's like, because she's too comfortable using the N-word. You know, and I told her, like, you know, I don't like that, and she just like keeps doing it. But I know she's not racist, but that's just how they are and how they doing or whatever. So she's just like, you know, I just distance myself from her, you know. So I say that to say that culturally, it is saturated so much. It is saturated so much that, you know, it's hard to, you know, not understand, you know, some folks that's just how it is, man. So I don't know. I'm evolving on this one right here. Man, this guy, Sleepy Joe, you know, I think that's his best campaign right there. Is the suit with the aviator glasses. Think that's, you know, wear a nice suit, nice crisp suit. You know,
He can be remembered by.
I think that's about the best. I think that's about the best, bro.
That's the best
Cause,
look.
bro, he just like right now, man. I don't know that it is a brain disorder, but I'm thinking in terms of, you know, he had a stutter growing up, and that he memorized poetry and recited poetry as one of the therapies to help him over it. But naturally, you know, in your 80s, you begin to lose certain things anyway. So I'm thinking just a combination of him just getting older and the things that he would do, all of probably things he had to put in his head together to speak. You know, it's probably a little more difficult. I think he's still there. I don't think he's checked out. I just think he's, you know, frustrated. I think it's like coming back to him, like the stutter, the slur. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's just that, bruh, this is when you talk about bad choices and bad options. Like, can we remember a worse set of choices that we've had in our lifetime? Like a worse set. Like you can say people, you know, want to take the country in a different direction, but also it's like, man, if Trump get in, we gonna face it's every day is gonna be like a Hollywood picture. It's gonna be like a Hollywood film, bro. It's gonna be cliffhangers, you know, like every day. Will you be able to wake up tomorrow? Will you be able to wake up tomorrow? How many treaties can he break and pull the U.S. out of? Join us next week or not. You know, if Trump get back in office, and then with Biden, it's like, you know,
Kamala Harris.
he's asleep at the wheel. He's asleep. But do you rather have somebody asleep at the wheel, but has like, you know, people around him that you feel confident are making the right type of decisions, versus somebody that is just corrupt and in it for themselves and do what they feel like their instincts tell them to do? Because, you know, depending on how you answer that question, depending on, you know, which way you're going to vote.
I mean, for me, it's like we've been doing it the other way for so long, and we've been coming with the same result.
And what result is that, bro? The country is evolving. Like, wasn't no microwaves, wasn't no cell phones, wasn't no social media, wasn't none of that. I mean, the world
So
and the
that tells you,
U.S. is the richest nation,
so that tells you the world is
and
going to
so it
continue.
continues to. Well, not necessarily, because there are weapons that are out there that can stop that. I was just watching a climate change. I, I was just watching a climate change um, report by the Secretary General of the United Nations,
Mhm.
and it was a very dire report, sir. He's talking about like by 2030, that's 6 years. 2030, we are at the point of no return based on decisions that we're doing now,
Mhm.
you know, that are that will be irreversible based on technology and know-how at our disposal right now. You got some folks is hoping and saying, hey, ingenuity, necessity is the um, the genesis of invention. You got to do it. Sometimes you just do it. Like COVID came, wasn't thinking about it, but we had to do it, and the folks in record time, came up with a vaccine. But just watching, just the way the world and having the opportunity to be in Europe and be outside of the U.S. for the last week, and watching like BBC News and just watching like how and just speaking to some of the locals over there about the perception about what's going on, bruh. It's like how close Germany is to Russia. Like they border,
Mhm.
and just seeing like how, they going about what they're doing, but they are, I was like, how y'all deal with the whole immigration issue? Because I remember after Syria, you guys that committed to bringing like 750,000, folks in, and they just like, yeah, man, you know, we brought them in. We're a rich country and want to help, but these guys aren't helping themselves. Like that's what one of the dudes just told me, like straight up, man. But they're not helping themselves. Like we giving them all this money, and then they don't want to work, or they don't want to do stuff. The way I saw, like the German society, similar, like Australia, in the sense that the like the non-native born people, it's like it's like watching an episode of Peanuts. The one black person over there, the one Muslim over there, like you can roll in about every 20, 30, have one, be no problem. It's when they get grouped up, that's when you got a problem.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at over there in a way like, they are the master killers.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like they've taken killing, mass killing to a whole nother level. And I'm watching like the folks out of, nice people, whatever. Two things I noticed. One, they are huge. Population, like they are huge. Like I've never seen so many people over 6'3" and up, between 6'3" and 6'8". That's like don't got nothing to do with basketball. They're a big group. They're
Mhm.
big people,
That's called the Huns. Remember the
the Huns,
Huns?
the Hessians, the Prussians, all those going back to what they was on, like
Mhm.
you see that.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, yo, okay. But it was also wasn't like a whole lot of fun. It's like they just content. And you just rolling around content,
Mhm.
but not like lit.
Right.
Like
Right.
like
Nothing to enjoy.
they just like, and dude told me, he was like, yo, man, we're a rich country. I'm like, man, like, is that a type of freedom? Yeah, you can't even say that here. Like, just say, "Yeah, we're a rich country. Like, yeah, we can bring in people, but we're not gonna bring in everybody.
Mhm.
We need to secure the border. We need to do certain things." But go ahead, Teddy. I see we got Miss Serica on there. So anytime I see Serica, down my screen, bro, I know she must got something going on. Always talking something sexual. Kegel.
Not always.
I
Not
mean,
always.
you come on with a
Don't
big
be
T-shirt and
natural.
say Kegel.
Not always, Mathis. Don't do me. Don't do that. And Kegels aren't sexual, they're health. Sexual health.
Sexual.
So,
Gotcha.
I like that. I like
Okay.
that. We all
Yeah,
need.
I mean, I love folks that's their way of thinking. You know what I mean? Definitely. It's like you used to walk in your mama bathroom back in the day, and she got that big rubber thing, hoses and all this stuff.
Water bottle.
you are all in women's business right now, Mathis. No.
Like, what is this? Mama, what's this?
I used to play
It's
with
a
it.
balloon, right?
I used to have it in the bathroom. Serica is in the building. Serica Peterson, the great poetess. She has a new project
36 is on.
that she just dropped. So we'll let her introduce that and talk about that for the people.
Is it PG?
It's rated for everybody. It is rated for everybody.
Okay.
It is. It's not out yet. It comes out on the 14th, and it's going to be released on the Eva platform. And you can go over there and get it. And I'm also going on tour. Well, I'm already on tour actually. Next week we will be in Atlanta and performing. Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and the 16th, but definitely the Kegel Crew is the reason I'm doing this tour. And, you know, God's timing for me is everything because I've been sitting on some work for a while and I needed to put out something with this tour. And this project of sorts it's not an album and it's not a single. A mixtape of sorts, and it's a new concept that I'm working with as far as poetry and spoken word and what I see needs to happen with it.
Sound like some, erotic. Is it erotic stuff or is it
erotic revolutionary?
Is it reality stuff? Is it like you're playing?
So Mathis, I don't only talk about erotic.
Well,
actually,
you erotic out with the Kegel gang, right? So I'm thinking this.
But the Kegel Crew isn't just erotic; it's more than that.
Well, why do they fall under the? Is it just Can we call ourselves like the testicle clique? Like would it have the same?
So a bit of education here.
Enlighten us.
Kegels are for humans, for pelvic floor muscles. It's not synonymous to women.
If a dude is doing those Kegel exercises in a public gym, he is trying to attract
She said she going to
other dudes. Because dudes like to see
you could be a supporter of the Kegel Crew from outside or inside. Either way.
So you got dudes in the Kegel Crew.
Huh?
You got dudes subscribing to the Kegel philosophy?
Absolutely.
And they dudes.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. Listen, husbands, I have husbands cash apping me, thanking me for my tutorial sessions of
no.
reminding
I
women.
would certainly be a Kegel supporter. I support the hustle. I'm talking about the clique. I'm talking about coming out there, snapping, me proudly wearing the Kegel shirt. I am a Kegel guy. That's what you saying. You got some dudes that's with that. I find that hard to believe. ATL is a good place.
I do. I have guys who we have the Kegel Crew gray sweatpants, and we love the gray
and the hoochie shorts and the hoochie daddy shorts.
No, they're not hoochie daddy shorts. They're gray sweatpants.
No, I'm saying they have your sweatpants, but they also have the hoochie daddy shorts as well that come above the thigh to show their athleticism.
I don't have those. I have the gray sweatpants. their Kegel Crew gray sweatpants.
Yes, and
So
I'm
know
saying, and I am
but the
adding,
Kegel Crew gray sweatpants, anybody can wear them.
and
But,
I am
I like
adding,
when the men wear them.
and I am adding that for the fellas who have the Kegel gray 50 Cent Wankster sweats, I would not be surprised that they also have the nut hugging Hoochie Man shorts.
No, I think you're that's just how you see it. That's not.
Hey, you know what? It's a different generation, and I take that. I accept that.
Yeah, I mean,
Kelly
I
ain't
don't
saying
think our
nothing.
generations
Kelly
are
just
too
said
far
he'll go
apart.
out naked.
But I don't think our generations are too far apart. But understanding Kegel and the benefits for Kegels for both men and women health wise, and understand that I'm currently going through courses to be a sexual health counselor, to make conversations around our sexual health be a part of whole health and not just pleasure, but how to understand and have conversations with your partner and your children about safe and a healthy sexual life.
What
at the end of the day,
my legs
the
like a
Kegels
butterfly.
are an exercise anybody can do and Kegel, and there are benefits for both
That's why I'm
men
asking.
and women.
Me popping my legs back and forth like a butterfly. What is that going to do for me?
Wait, say that again.
He's talking about a Kegel method that he's seen where a person is popping their legs like a butterfly.
Right, in the Kegel is just like this.
That's not a Kegel. That's not a Kegel.
The machines.
I mean, it is.
It's a form. That's just.
It's a form. Okay.
Yeah, let it enlighten us.
This is where we need to know right here. This is the point. This is what separates the men from the.
We need to know
the other guys.
We need to be on this. We need to be on this. Okay, we'll bring a Kegel exercise machine right here on Ask Mathis, and me and Teddy and Step. We'll be over here doing it.
Don't put me in that.
I'm only gonna do it for TV.
I will say this, that there are exercises. There are exercises that you could do to strengthen your pelvic floor muscle. And when you think about it, you should want people to strengthen it, because if not, y'all gonna get old and gray and you ain't gonna be able to hold your pee because your pelvic floor muscle is loose and you're gonna be around here with diapers on. So, hey, whether you want to do it or not, whether you think is something that you shouldn't be doing, when you get older, you're going to wish you had, because your pelvic floor muscle, like any muscle, needs to be worked out and strengthened. And that's really what the Kegel Crew is about. I mean, there's other things that adults add to the Kegel. See, I don't tell nobody to do that. I don't tell anybody to do that. I just remind people to do their Kegels. That's it.
Teddy?
Yeah, I mean, I practice thrust at least 2-3 times a week. I understand what you're talking about. But so with the actual project that you're putting out, how many actual, is it poems, songs, is it combination, is old girl singing on the hook? Like, what are the actual setups for each of the songs?
So we're sending, I'm sending it out 2 by 2. So what that is for me is it's 2 poems and 2 wisdom speakings from some elders. Ty is on the project, not as fully yet, because she and I are working on the Sophia project. This is really just a sampler for what we're working on to visually bring to life what spoken word poetry is, and how how I envision it, how I hear it, partnered with the musicality and the lyricism of Ty and what we do together as Sophia. So there's 2 poems on there. Music is a huge part of this project. So in anything I doing now when it comes to music or poems or distribution of my poems, is going to have music in it, because when I hear music in my head, when I hear poetry in my head, I hear music. I don't hear them without each other. So I have to do them that way. And yeah, the project has music. It's hard because I say, the poems, but when you hear them, they could be song. It's,
Well, I mean,
I don't even know,
we'd like a little sample, and if it was be clean, just so people can get an adjust of what they can expect from this project. Just a little piece.
I get on my knees, y'all. I do my Kegels. Get on my... Yeah, in and out, in and out, out, in and out, in and out, in and out, thirsty.
I can always count on somebody from Pompano.
Yeah,
I promise you.
Yeah, somebody.
It's always the people from Pompano.
We're gonna take it there. We're gonna take it there. All right, straight to grace.
Always, it's always. So a poem. Let's see. I could do a piece of a poem
The piece.
Before we exit, and
Right.
yeah. We don't want to do no erotic, right?
No,
Because
no,
this
no,
needs to
yeah.
be-
You can do erotic as long as you don't use any
Curse words.
of those 7 words.
Yeah, you can't use no cursing. So on Video Mix
There's
Live.
7 words.
Yeah.
There's 7. There's
Yeah.
7.
Well, it's
7
really,
words?
it's really 3. The FU, the B, the A, no cursing.
The D,
The P word, none of
C.
that type of,
the P.
Okay, so I am my mama's old school Saturday morning jams.
Okay,
Country folk riding down dirt roads, we own Magic Road.
okay.
I am the Peterson family legacy. Making my grandparents proud, the baton has been passed to me. I lead with the knowledge of knowing who I am, being the foundation of who I am, the community activist that ain't compromising with demons, scheming off the top of the crumbs they giving us at the bottom. They say it's a big, rich town. We only have power on Sundays. We call it Exit 36. They call it the Innovative District. It's the Hunger Games. And little black girls keep being the tributes and never the victors. Pictures of us gone missing without a trace. CSI always coming up with cold cases, we aces in the hole. Holding all the cards we need to run a boss. The word on the wire is the change is here. Okay.
Yeah. I like that. That was real and entertaining at the same time.
Snap. Serica.
Now, I appreciate y'all for
Serica Peterson.
having me on.
Give it up for
Ask
Serica.
Mathis.
Give it up. Give it up for Serica. Give it up.
And where can people get this project at on the 14th?
Oh, Hammerville.
It's going to be on the Even
Hammerville.
platform. It's going to be on the Even platform. So I'm not releasing on all of the major streaming platforms right now. I'm just releasing on a digital platform. You can go purchase the project. It's also going to come with visuals. So we are working on making sure the label, it elevates it and it's taking it to the next level.
That's what it is, man. The South Florida Poet Laureate, Sarah Peterson, the best in the game, friend of the show, always welcome. Homegirl, my sister.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All that.
Appreciate
Thank you, Sarah.
Get your Kegel game on. Get your Kegel
Thank you,
game
sir.
on. Get your Kegel game on. Hey. What do you think would have happened if Black Americans had stormed the Capitol? We went through that one last week, man. We did that one. Those are his best liners, and they was flat. They fell flat, man. They just kind of like, bruh.
He tried.
Bruh. Yeah, we did a lot of these last. You gotta go to the top. You gotta go to the top, sir.
What did you have a chance to check out the game last night, the Boston and Dallas?
I did not, man. By the time we finished the show, no, I had a Zoom yesterday. I had a Zoom that started at 8 over here which was 2 a.m. over there, and we finished it at 3:30. So by the time we like went to check out the game, bro, Boston was up 20.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah.
So it was like, man.
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
Well, Porzingis came back and he played like it was.
Dude used to play for the Heat.
No, what did he play for the Heat? I know he played for the Bullets. He played for
the big white boy, 7-footer.
He played for Dallas, the Bullets. Yeah, he came back and he was playing like all the other foreigners. You know, if he plays like that every game, I mean,
they probably got him for Joker.
Yeah,
it was like, you know, but Joker ain't make it, so they was like, all right, you be Joker now. 7 feet is hard to stop. Yeah, if you got an offense for you, especially if you got a lead.
Yeah, he's 7.
It's like having Derrick Henry back there. You got a 17-point lead. Headed into the 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you just hand the ball to Henry. It's hard to stop him.
He had 18 in the first half.
Yeah, he
really just went. And
when is the next game?
Sunday.
All right, cool. So be ready for that one, man. So let's see what your boy Trump has to say, man. Let's see what he has to say. Is he feeling remorse? How's he feeling? He's like, I think he's trying to act like he's Jesus.
Yeah, I told you that.
He on some Jesus stuff right now. He's like, I did it for you.
I told you.
I didn't have to do any of this. I had plenty of hoes, as the bros like to call it. I had plenty of hoes.
See, I
want money.
See, like I had showed on. I put you in it the other day. His grandfather made his fortune at brothels in the West during the gold rush. You know, and his grandmother, Elizabeth Christ, was the one who really started the whole business. So you got her doing business and his grandfather doing the girls. So you see, he got both sides. You know, they talk about his grandfather. His grandmother used to go collect money from the laundromats in a Rolls Royce. She used to go collect all the coins. And he talked about doing the same thing, you know, from their family. So he's got the brothels, he's got the girl stuff honest. He can't help it. It's in his loins, you know.
All right. Let's see what he got to say, man. Teddy Baby.
It's turned down by the Southern District. This is over years. This could have been brought 7 years ago. You know, they tried to rush it because they wanted it before the election. But this could have been brought 7 years ago, but they didn't have any attention.
That's true.
A case like this has never been brought before. And there's never been a case where a state has gone after a federal election. In other words, that's for like the Southern District to go. Southern District turned it down. We got clearance from the FEC, Federal Election Commission.
True.
Clearance. They're suing, saying we violated a thing, but they gave us clearance. But the charge was written, I mean, it was like a weird charge. You'd have a little of this, a little of that, do a little of this, throw a little, mix it up. You'd
set the arraignment date for 4 days before the RNC.
Yeah, well, that's part of the game.
It is. Some have suggested you could appeal straight to the Supreme Court because of the special nature of this case. When it comes to the legal maze that you're still facing, and the judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail.
It could
face what that could look
I'm okay with it. I saw one of my lawyers the other day on television saying, oh, no, you don't want to do that to the president. I said, you don't beg for anything. You just, the way it is. This was turned down the Southern District. This could have been brought 7 years ago. You know, they tried to rush it because they wanted it before the election. But this could have been brought 7 years ago, but they didn't have any attention. A case like this has never been brought before.
So I'm
telling you, man, he building a great little story, and then people are looking like we've never seen this before.
It's starting to feel now. Grover Cleveland got lost and elected again.
No, but
not with this charisma and the coat of personality.
No political experience,
the demagoguery, and the whole nine. You know, but if you take it back to what they like to call direct democracy in Athens and the city-state and whatnot, that's really what democracy is supposed to be about. Like anybody is supposed to be able to lead at some point. You go, do what you got to do, and then return to your farm. Go do what's best for the nation, and then go back to your farm. You're not supposed to get there and stay there. And that's the problem that we have right now. We have people that they look at being a politician as a career move.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a career move. It's like, yo, I get to a certain point now, I want to help people, and this is the way I want to help them. Not like looking for the next thing. Like you'll see somebody start off in the school board, then they'll run for state house, then they'll run for state senate, and they looking around for something else to do. As opposed to like, what'd you go to school for? You went to school to be a politician? Like what? And do what? Like I never agreed with that. Even folks that go to the Kennedy School at Harvard, where it's like that is, you want to talk about like creme de la creme. If you go to the Kennedy School at Harvard, it's like I plan to be the president one day, or advising the president one day. And so I'm going there to get all these policy considerations and all this other stuff or whatnot, man. I just look at people like that just, from a weird perspective, because there's so many other ways to help. As you see right now, and I think you've been talking about it, Teddy, you see right now with the billionaire class, and you say, you know what, the billionaire class are building their own little mini kingdoms where they basically handle everything within their ecosystem. Like for what it is, they like, yo, the country is too big. It's too many people, and you got to try to figure it out for all these people. And maybe Trump is saying that hard truth that people don't really want to hear, which is, you know what, like, why are we doing that? Why, Steph, is the military spending $50 on a hammer that costs $5 at Home Depot? Why, when we go to the emergency room, if we don't have insurance, we spending $1,500 for a $5 aspirin? Why is it like that? Why is it that, Halliburton gets a no bid contract to rebuild Iraq or Afghanistan? Where you talking trillions of dollars pouring in that nobody even get to compete against, and when you come in there without an agenda where you're not beholden to anybody, it's like, boom. But in my opinion, Trump was better in his first term in the sense that he went in and saw like, what it was, and he didn't even know what he didn't know, and was just like, man, this ain't right. But it only took so long. And I think a lot of the stuff that's happening to him, that has happened to him, were enabled by Republicans. It was enabled by the Republican establishment that was like, hey, this dude is threatening our way of life. He's threatening our way of life. He's threatening like how we get things done, how we do things, and whatever. So what we're gonna start doing is we're in bed with the media. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start planting these stories, and we're going to start doing this stuff where he is going to blow up. It's like certain things that I know about Freezy, certain things I know about Flo, where the way you go and approach them is going to determine a lot in terms of how they react. So if I'm a diabolical, devious person or whatever, and I'm like, oh, you want that? You know what I'm saying? And I secretly don't want that to happen. I'd be like, hey, Flo, buddy talking about bring you over here to something like that. He'd be like, nah, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's all in the presentation. And I think the folks is like, man, this dude, look how many people in 2014 and 2015 in the established Republican Party was saying that, oh, this TV guy, he's a cartoonish guy. He doesn't say anything, complete sentences and all this other stuff. Same stuff that he is now talking about Sleepy Joe about, that, oh, he can't complete a sentences. Like all the folks in there, it's like this guy gives a speech and it's like, it's not even coherent. It's like he's going from here to there and he's doing side notes, going down rabbit holes and doing all this other stuff. And folks just like, man, what are we doing? But now I think he is so dirty. I think he is so dirty that he won't be as effective. If he does get back in office, he will not be as effective because he is so dirty. He is so dirty. Those are my thoughts. When I say dirty, I don't mean in a criminal aspect. I mean in terms of like, you need money. Dude got $150 million in legal fees, right? Over $300 million in judgments, bruh, where they took the business. They got the death sentence in New York. Can't do business where he built his business in New York. He got sued twice and lost for the sexual assault with E.J. and Carol, right? First she got $10 million from him. He came out there and was like, man, the hell with her and this whole verdict and all this other stuff. They sued him again and then got 300. So, bruh, you just piling all this bread on there. And so, you know, if Elon Musk, Bill Gates, some of the other cats say, man, come over here, whatever, bro. We see you got all this debt right now. You know what I'm saying? We could help you. Or we could, you know, how we doing this?
He's just gonna wait till he become president and give everybody the ability to pay the piper or pay the price. You know?
But how is he gonna deal with that in New York? How you gonna appeal that state court?
Hey,
you got no authority.
He's going to Mar-a-Lago. He's gonna do all of his business in Florida. That's where he's gonna spend all of his time at. Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, so Teddy, now okay.
White House.
Okay, now you're talking to me, Teddy. So it sounds like you're saying that house arrest might not be so bad.
That's what he wants.
House arrest.
That's what he wants.
To be, you know, where you gotta be in Mar-a-Lago. And you chilling at your spot in Palm Beach. And you ain't really in DC because like you're permitted to go for the State of the Union or something like, man, that would be crazy.
He's gonna make the government make the government feel like
that flips America on its head, bruh. Because when little kids in Iowa and Idaho and all these look Alabama and all these small towns, like, would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And they get up and they talk, and in these images, you know, I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. Well, unless you get convicted 34 times, but that was by New York. You know what I mean? Don't you hear the new kids are gonna now be like, but though that was a New York liberal judge, conflicted judge, and the institutions. That's the thing that gets me, or at least that I look at in terms of the institutions, bruh. None of them are perfect, but it is what it is. I studied comparative politics in 1995 at University College of London. And we the case studies were Germany, France, Chile. Germany, France, Chile. Were the governments that we looked at in terms of like how things go and whatnot. And one of the things about the Constitution that the world marvels at is that the Constitution is the longest lasting, you know, governing document, you know, in the world. Not that it's the oldest, but it's the longest that continues because everybody else done changed it. They've come like, nah, man, we got to go to something else. We need specifics. But the whole thing about the U.S. Constitution is that it is given so much deference because there's so many things unsaid. There's so many things unsaid. So what it allows to have in America is to say, you know, even the way the lawyers are trained. Lawyers are trained in the sense that is the Constitution our governing body? Is it a living, breathing document? You know, and it was just like, okay, boom. So if you take that and apply it to everything that's going on, that's how you end up with a abortion law like you had in Arizona. That's how you end up with that. They end up with the 1862 version because, hey, now that Roe v. Wade is gone, because what Roe v. Wade had done is it pretty much was a truce. It was basically South and North Korea was Roe v. Wade. Yeah, meaning that demilitarized zone. Roe v. Wade was basically like, look, there is an interest. Women have some control over their bodies. Not complete control, but some control. They have more control in the first trimester. This is the rationale of Roe v. Wade. They have more control in the first trimester, less control in the second trimester, and then the state has a larger interest in the third trimester. A larger interest, meaning like, you're gonna have some explaining to do, and you rolling up into this doctor's office at 7-8 months talking about terminating a pregnancy, where now we're talking viability. We're talking about, we can remove the fetus from you at this point and put the fetus with somebody else, and the fetus can live independent. So just to come in here and be like, nah, I ain't with it no more, the government has an interest. That was basically the way Roe v. Wade and what's governed for 50 years. But if you look at Roe v. Wade, like from line to line, the precedent wasn't there. It's just like Brown versus Board of Education. Plessy versus Ferguson and the Dred Scott decisions were the precedent, which was separate but equal, was the law of the land. And so Oklahoma was so smooth with it that when they didn't want brothers to attend law school in Oklahoma, you know what they did? They went and built them a brand new law school institute, like, bam, separate but equal, here you go. Now, how y'all gonna, what's the argument now? We done built y'all a fresh new facility. We don't want y'all over here with us. Then you had others like, hey, we will pay Texas, for instance. Like, bro, we will pay you, not to come to our law school. We will pay you to go to their law school in their state. So you like, well, he's getting a great education. So that's what folks looking at the law of the land saying, okay, this is what they want to do. This is what we got to do. We can't give them like substandard books or this and that. We got to do that. But Thurgood Marshall and the other brothers from the Legal Defense Fund was able to come in there and use that Dahl test as anecdotal evidence that separate but equal is destroying the nation, in that if a person 10 out of 10 times, a young child is going to choose a doll that does not favor them or does not look like them, they're going to choose the white, blonde, blue-eyed doll, and they not that 10 out of 10 times, bro. They ain't 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7, 10 out of 10, bro. 10 out of 10, they like, don't nobody want to be black. And that argument carried the day. That argument would never carry the day. You already saw DEI done. Affirmative action done. All those things are done. With a black justice and Clarence Thomas on the bench. With Alito. With Kavanaugh. With Neil Gorsuch. With Amy Coney Barrett. With all these folks who went before Congress and straight up lied. Said Roe v. Wade was settled law. Brown v. Education, settled law, ain't no need to mess with it or whatever. Giving us opportunity, what do? Blah, blah, blah. So those are the things that concern me with a second term with Trump.
So my thing is, each entity are now perpetuating power.
Yes.
That's what's going down. Everybody's perpetuating their power of control.
But understanding, there are no regulations to control it.
Right.
Listen, when the founders came up with this whole notion of checks and balances, until 1796, the courts were considered the weakest branch. And why is that? Because the courts had no power. The executive, the president, the governor, the mayor, all obviously, can wield power and they can do whatever, and they fall under the executive branch. The legislature, they make the laws and they pass the laws. So you obviously see where their power comes in. And it wasn't until Marbury versus Madison and Justice Marshall he came up with this concept. He pulled it out his booty called
That's what Marshall do.
judicial review.
That's what Marshall do.
And when judicial review came up with this concept of, you know what, the Supreme Court can look at legislation passed by Congress, or it can look at action taken by the president, executive branch, and say that it is unconstitutional. And that is what we say, even though it's not written anywhere in the Constitution, but that's how it's been interpreted and translated. And now you see how it has evolved to the point where we're in right now, where we're looking at the Supreme Court as a runaway train right now. Where they pushing agendas right now. There was at least, they used to at least be smooth with it. They used to be smooth with it, where, you know, there was like, you know, the Illuminati type, you know, they like meeting in caves and doing whatever, and then it's just start coming out, because that's the society that we live in, because technology is its own thing. Remember, we had the folks anonymous, what's the name of the people, the hackers that come in and hack anything and come in and be like, you know what, y'all need to know this, y'all need to know what's going on with what's going on, bro. Because you like, how's a billionaire flying around a sitting Supreme Court justice? How's a billionaire paying for a sitting Supreme Court justice mama house? How is a billionaire doing this stuff, and the guys pushing things through agendas, and everybody like, yo, they nobody want us to use our common sense.
Then we had the WikiLeaks.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like the part of like the anonymous folks with the WikiLeaks, that's folks that's sitting there like whistleblowers, and you know, that's what happened with Nixon. You know, just folks is like, bruh, sometimes folks be ass out, and usually the person that's coming one way is the exact opposite. They going so hard. Like the dude that talk about the former senator from Nebraska. He going so hard. He voting against every gay measurement, everything, and then he turn up in the Minneapolis airport bathroom, you know what I'm saying, trying to hit a glory hole. You know what I mean? And they talking about what you, his defense is, I got a wide stance. You know what I mean? When it was when the signal, because the signal, you go into the bathroom stall and then you tap feet with the person in the next. It's like a little signal. You tap feet with the person in the next stall, and you know, and that means y'all ready to do whatever y'all ready to do, right? And then so when he ends up getting arrested in there, he talking about he got a wide stance. Now, if that was the case, Shaq, I guess none of them have never used a public restroom. Solicitation.
Yeah. Because he tapped him.
Yeah, because it was the undercover. It was a plan. It was a setup. Yeah. Like they knew people was coming there to do. You know, that's the same thing that happened with George from Wham.
Right.
George Michael. Like it was certain places set up where people know, like on the beach, like South Beach, bro. Like certain places that doing times or whatever, and then the police from time to time conduct stings, sting operations to see who get caught up. And George Michael got caught up when he was like the sexiest man, you know, alive to the women at the time. Never Gonna Dance Again, Careless Whisper, and all that.
We knew he was on the other side. We let him go though.
I didn't know.
I did.
Bro, when he had Gotta Have Faith, and he had Naomi Campbell in that, bro, you couldn't tell me he wasn't the man. I was like, bro, I'm going to get my leather jacket. I'm going to get my leather jacket and my booster. That's what I gotta do. Put my Ray-Bans on, put my leather jacket on, and put my boots on to get Naomi like at the other side of the jukebox. Oh, bro, I'm going to get that.
Because you had him and Boy George. Boy George was up front.
Boy George, he was up front. On, bro. He came in there like a trans. He was a trans before we even knew the word trans. He was a trans before we knew. But hold on, for our folks that's sitting here watching us, man, on Video Mix, man, that's locked down right now, bro. When we tell y'all, we give y'all this free advice, man, bro. Please, please, please. If you got any kind of traffic case you fighting, Don't zoom in from the driver's seat. Don't, Drew.
That was like, come on, bro.
Come on, man.
I'm on my way.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Don't say, hold on. What you think?
Bro, don't zoom in from the driver's seat, bro. Don't do that.
This is what European colonization has created. This is what I want to say. This is
the we hurt boss, we sick boss.
Yeah, this is the
abomination of we sick boss.
This is it.
Right, hey, man, I got a cold. We sick boss. No, you sick boss.
When you saw this, I was like, this guy is not thinking at all. Like,
so check this out. Go back up. Go back down. This brother right here. Y'all heard of him? Up, one more. No, the one right above that. The guy. Yeah, right here. Y'all heard of this brother right here, man? He's a bodybuilder, Olympic gold medal wrestler. Signs with the Buffalo Bills, despite never having played football.
That's gonna be all right.
I mean,
he's only 23 years old?
Yeah, he's 23.
Oh yeah, he's good to go.
Never played football?
Mm-hmm. Oh, they'll put him on the defensive line. All you gotta do is rush.
Hey, that's what it looked like. I mean, you're a wrestler, you know what I mean? Like that's
it.
Perfect thing to do.
Couple lefts and right.
It's a perfect thing to do.
Wow.
Football players talked all that smack about basketball players. But this guy ain't never played no football. They just gonna accept that, huh?
Hey, I mean, on the defensive line, I guess it's so many different. Bruh, do you know the best position on the field is the long snapper? You know the history of the long snapper?
Give it to it.
Bruh, the long snapper be a dude that be in the league for like 15, 16 years.
You want to do the whole punt?
No, the long snapper for the punt.
Right.
The long snapper. Right.
Yeah.
And the rules now, you can't hit him.
Yeah, you can't.
Like you can't even cover him. Like it's certain rules that's in place. And when you see these guys on the field, bruh, they look like bankers.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, like they don't fear nothing because like you can't hit them. You ain't supposed to do this. Now look at this clown right here. The superintendent just got a restraining order granted, against this dude, man. So I hope it's not the worst scenario, but y'all, if y'all haven't seen it, man, y'all got to see this, bro. Yeah.
Information about an incident at Baraboo High School's graduation between a parent and the district superintendent on Friday. Our Jalen Banks joins us now with video of that incident and response from the district. Jalen?
Eric, in the video, you can see a parent approach the stage, grab the superintendent, Rainey Briggs, and move him out of the frame before what is believed to be the parent's daughter being able to shake the hand of the superintendent. The video continues, and you can hear Briggs say, "Get off me." You can see individuals take the stage, escorting him off, and multiple people moving the parent off the stage as well. And comments on social media say the parent did this in protest of how the superintendent and the district handled bullying incidents related to his daughter. In a statement from the district, they say, "Our primary focus remains on celebrating the achievements of our graduates." They continue with, "We want to ensure that the significance of this milestone and the hard work of our students are not overshadowed by this unfortunate event. The evening celebrated their accomplishments, and we are incredibly proud of each of them."
All right.
Now,
So I would like to hear from the dad, but that explanation is not the explanation that the world is riding with. Like the world has been riding with, it was some racial stuff.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
But as a parent of children who have experienced bullying, it's certain things like as a parent that your kids talk you out of doing. They don't want you to do it. Yeah. Like they don't want to tell the teachers because the other students have their own thing and they end up piling up against the one person because you snitched on this person, like you got to take it. But then if you come in and take it to the dome and bust one of them across the head, you know what I mean? So like as a parent, you know, you report it, you say what's going on or whatever, and then, you know, you got all these kids committing suicide, you know, because of the cyberbullying and other things like that, man. But, you know, everybody just rushed to this whole racial component, man. And
I'm thinking though, like, why all the anger just on the superintendent when you got
the principal, right? And we just want him out the picture.
Yeah, what?
I mean, but you see why, and his complexion compared to everybody else. That's
but that so you saying that it is that?
I mean, that's what I saw.
Because I mean, if you see what they're saying, like, no, it was what the school board didn't do. But what about the school? Right. I agree with you, Step. Like, what about the principal? What about the teachers?
Right past the principal and everybody else?
No. I disagree. To understand, you're now opening up the floodgate to any and every federal defendant to come in and do the same thing. That cannot fly. He's running on pardoning everybody. Everybody that went to jail January 6th. He's giving them a wink, wink.